I would love to have you disagree this in court before a judge.
I think I'm going to.
I would love to hear this.
I'm going to contact the lawyer.
Good. I hope you do. But you keep that up and you see how that works out for you. And stop trying to be a jailhouse lawyer. Stop trying to tell officers that you know the law better than them.
And I'm growing as frustrated with it as everyone else.
I apologize if my answers are frustrating. I honestly do. I feel like I'm being poked and prodded.
I understand that. That's what happens at trial. He was not familiar off the top of his head with the very statutes that are applicable to this case today. Keep a poker face, because that was absolutely your testimony. We went over it many times. Calling ticket number P1875065. This is City versus David Pletz. We have one count of disobeying a lawful order of a police officer and one count of interfering with pedestrian traffic. As a we're set for trial today. Officer is here. Mr. Pletz is here. As a preliminary matter, as I open the file, there is a motion in this file to suppress, which appears to have been filed back on April the 14th. What's the status of that, please, Attorney Barton? This is Mr. Pletz's motion.
Yes, Your Honor, if I may, I personally haven't, I wasn't assigned when that motion was filed, so I'm unable to speak on behalf of that particular motion, but we will address the issues within that motion today, Your Honor, which deal with the suppression component. So
thank you. Okay. Noting for the record that the motion is a motion to suppress based upon an unreasonable search and seizure without reasonable articulable suspicion or probable cause to detain. Also that the order issued by the officer had no basis in Michigan law, and that no Miranda warnings were given during the custodial detention for identification. There's a motion to suppress all evidence pertaining to the traffic ticket or citation. What the court will do, Mr. Pletz, is I will hold the motion in abeyance until the trial, and that way, if we need to address it, we can. Yes, Ms. Horn?
Yes, and the people, for the record, would object to that motion. It was not filed on the people. It was not properly served, and the people have not had an opportunity to respond to it.
Okay, understood. I think these are issues that will be addressed during the trial. If we need to do something more with it at the end, then we'll do that. But for now, as I said, we're not going to address it. At this point, we're going to go on into the trial because the issues will be addressed, I'm sure, given the testimony. All right, now that we've dealt with the preliminary matters, I will take appearances so that we can begin the trial. Ms. Horn, beginning with yours.
Tamika Horn, on behalf of the people of the City of Detroit, P70303, Your Honor. Sergeant, would you please state your name and badge number for the record?
Yes, ma'am. Sergeant Brian Tershnock, badge S88.
And may it please this honorable court, Darnell Barton, P83363, on behalf of Mr. David M. Pletz. Sir, can you come into camera? Go ahead and adjust your camera so that you're able to stay in camera full time, that the court can see you. And then just go ahead and state your name for the record for us one more time.
My name is David Michael Pletz.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. As I said, today is the date and time scheduled for trial. All parties are here. We'll begin with opening statements. Attorney Horn.
The people waive opening at this time, Your Honor.
Thank you. Attorney Barton.
Yes, if I may, Your Honor, just very briefly, I believe the evidence is going to show in this case that the order from the officer was not a lawful order. There was an obstruction in the road, which allows him to be treated as if he were a vehicle on the roadway. With that stated, the officer goes and tells him, and it's, if I may, this is not about a bad cop or anything of that nature that we're trying to get to. We're just getting to the law. The law says that the young man meaning my client, had the right to ride in that street area because there was an obstruction in the road, specifically in the bike lane that the officer is telling him that he needed to be in. Once there is an interference in that lane, he's now legally able to avoid that possible injury and or narrowed road, as MCL 257.657 articulates. Bikes have roadway rights. MCL 257.660A says that bikers can move away from obstacles that cause unsafe conditions. And so when we get into the trial, Your Honor, we'll show the specific unsafe condition. And with that said, we believe that there will be no reason for the officer to even have a legal order, and then also that there was no interference with traffic, not to mention that he was the only person on the road at that time during the day. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Attorney Horn, who is your first witness?
That will be Sergeant Tershionak.
Thank you. Sergeant Tershionak, please raise your right hand and swear affirm that everything you tell the court today will be the truth.
I do.
Thank you. Attorney Horn?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Sergeant, where are you currently employed?
The City of Detroit Police Department, 4th Precinct.
And how long have you been a police officer?
27 years, ma'am.
And during that 27 years, have you had any training as it relates to traffic?
Yes, ma'am.
And specifically to bicyclists?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and for purposes of what the subject matter of in this case is, what in particular have you learned in your training as to bicyclists?
Briefly, when there are bike lanes available, citizens are to use those bike lanes. More importantly, in this incident, the individual, the defendant, was riding his bicycle in the middle of vehicular traffic lane with a bicycle lane provided.
Okay, and we will get into the depth of the conduct that created the issuance of these tickets.
Yes.
Are bicyclists held to the same standard as motor vehicles?
Yes, they are. They have to operate their bicycle in a safe manner as anyone would be driving a vehicle.
Thank you. And on March 4th, 2026, were you on duty?
Yes, ma'am.
At approximately 2:32 a.m.?
That is correct.
And would that been in the area of Green Street and West Fort?
That is correct.
And is that the city of Detroit?
Yes, ma'am.
What brought you to the area, Sergeant?
I was on routine patrol traveling westbound on 4th Street at that time.
And what did you observe at that time?
At that time, I just observed the defendant riding a bicycle in the middle of the only lane available for vehicular traffic while bicycle lane was provided.
You say a bicycle lane was provided, and he was in the middle of the road, as you stated, correct?
Correct.
Were there any other vehicles around at that time?
I don't recall. There were no vehicles in front of us. I believe one or two vehicles may have passed going eastbound, but I can't recall.
And does an actual obstruction or blockage or interference with traffic have to happen in order for you to issue a blockading ticket?
No, the actual blockading was the defendant riding in the middle of the traffic lane, which even if he was authorized to ride in that lane, he would have to move over to the farthest right side of the road for vehicular traffic, which he did not.
Okay. And at that time also, what else happened after you observed, and let's back up a little bit. The person that you saw that morning, are they in the virtual courtroom today?
Yes.
And can you describe something that person is wearing?
He had a black hoodie on in the video.
Okay, and what about here?
Same thing, I believe he had a hoodie. He's the gentleman with the beard, Mr. Pletz.
Okay, and you recognize that as the person that you interacted with during this incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, may the record reflect that the sergeant has identified the defendant?
The record will so reflect.
And once you ran into the defendant, what did you do?
When I first observed the defendant riding in the roadway, I grabbed the bullhorn, the microphone on my vehicle, and I gave him a warning and asked him to move into the bike lane.
And did he do that?
He did not.
Okay. And what followed after that?
I gave him a second verbal warning with the microphone of the vehicle, to which the defendant responded by taking his hands off of the handlebars of the bicycle and started operating the bicycle without his hands down the middle of the roadway.
And he continued down the middle of the roadway?
Correct.
Okay, and at that point, even after those two commands or orders that you gave him, did he proceed to get on the bicycle lane?
No, he did not.
And then what else happened?
At that point, there was a break in the construction cones. I was able to pull up alongside of Mr. Pletz, roll down the window of my vehicle, and I asked him if he heard me via the microphone, and asked him if he heard me asking him to get into the bicycle lane.
And what was his response to you?
His response to me was that there was a sign a little bit east of us that said that the bicycle lane was closed. And I said, I'm not aware of any sign back there that says the bike lane is closed. I said, would you show me? And we proceeded to go back east on the roadway where we first passed. And there was a sign in the bicycle lane, but that was just a construction sign. And then I proceeded to tell him that the bike lane was not closed and that he needs to operate his bicycle in the bike lane where it is provided.
And at this time, were you wearing body-worn camera?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Your Honor, the people would request permission to publish the body-worn cam. First, I want to lay the foundation of whose camera this is.
Madam Prosecutor, we would stipulate to any videos.
Okay. Thank you.
Nope. Yep.
All right, then permission to publish.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Okay. And is this your body-worn cam as far as right here identified?
I believe so.
Yep. And I see the name.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. There we go. Oh.
Yeah, because you didn't look at it.
You expect me to go through that?
You see all this? Oh, wait a minute. You're telling me that you can't slow your... No, that's detour for street traffic. So you want to argue with me? Do you want me?
Put that sign.
Do you want me to take your information and do you want to argue with me? All I told you was to ride in the bike lane. Do I want a lawsuit?
Yeah.
Let me see your ID.
I don't have it on me.
Oh. So you want to argue with the police when you don't have your ID and you're riding in the middle of the road?
State?
No, you're committing an infraction right now.
I'm not. You're supposed to, the law says ride as far as possible to the right.
You see all of this? What's your name, sir?
I don't have to tell you.
Yeah, you do, because you're detained right now.
Under what law did I break?
Radio 470. I'm at Green and Fort. If you have another car, roll them this way. What's your name?
I don't think I have to do it.
Well, yeah, you do. I'm telling you, well, I don't care what you think. I'm telling you, this bike lane, all of this construction right here.
What's your reasonable?
I'm not in any trouble, just have a uncooperative individual. All of this construction was made for people like you who want to ride your bike in the street, so you don't get hit and get killed by cars. Now, you have all of this.
And killed by this.
My man, if you can't slow your bike down enough to avoid this minor obstacle.
Who's to say that I could even see that? If that was in the road, it would be different.
You have a headlight on your bike, don't you? Do you have a headlight on your bike?
Yes, I have a headlight.
Yeah, well, why isn't it on?
It doesn't have to be. It's a bicycle.
Well, you're the one who said that you can't avoid obstacles. And if you have a headlight, maybe you should have it on to not hit obstacles. Does that make sense to you?
Maybe the obstacles shouldn't be in the bike lane.
It is your responsibility to control your vehicle. You see all these pylons? We control those. You have 2 seconds to give me some ID or give me your name.
I don't think I have. What's your reason?
I told you. Put your hands behind your back. I love people like you who think that you're going to tell me the law. You got anything on you I need to know about?
I have a work blade in my front.
You have a what?
A work blade in my front.
A knife. Okay.
Probably,
and just so you know, the warning that I gave you 3 times, telling you not to drive in the middle of a traffic lane when there's a bike lane provided, is my reasonable suspicion to talk to you.
Even though it's closed.
It's not closed. That is a detour sign for vehicle traffic.
Why is there a sign in the road blocking?
It's a detour sign for vehicle traffic.
And it's blocking the bike lane.
That you can slow down and maneuver around. You're telling me that you can ride your bike. Mind you, you were riding your bike with no hands the whole time I was behind you.
I'm allowed to.
So if you're so good at riding your bike with no hands, then I have no problem believing that if you put your hands on the bike, that you could go around that minor little sign right there. Yeah, you should have done that when I gave you a nice warning and told you to get out of the street. But no, you think that you're Mr. Law Johnny Awesome and you know everything. To walk over to this officer's car and give him all